Came here to say who won it from the jump. We came to get exactly what you want. Came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, we live, you know. We came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, the sports show.
Yerrr.
Yerrr.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Yerrr Sports Show, episode 165. I am the wise brother Dre, aka the soul of R&B. To my left, we have Henny Bobby Brown. Welcome back to the show, sir.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
You've had too much Henny, apparently.
Nah, not enough sleep.
Why damn Tay? What
I haven't seen you in forever. Relax. Put your gun away. Put your gun away. You look beautiful. I can't say you look beautiful. God damn. Ready to shoot at me?
At the top left, we have the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado.
What's up? What's up? I feel great. Saw my chiropractor today. Actually feel like a brand new man. You do that more often.
Good. You can move
How
around.
much are they paying you at this job?
These newer kids are gonna kill me.
Yeah. One big particular Newark kid got you a couple weeks ago. Too. And on the top right, we have Air Infinity herself, the queen, the head of our table, Queen Tay.
What's good, bitches and gentlemen?
Not bitches.
My God.
Why we gotta be bitches for?
No, she didn't call us bitches. You accepted that. You accepted that charge. I was like, if you want to accept that, Pete, hey, that's all you.
I don't want to be bitches.
You know what song has been kind of in my head for the past few days?
Yeah, Glow.
Who We Be by DMX.
Oh, well. Okay, I got it.
That's been my lifting song.
That's a good song.
That
shit is crazy.
Is it weird to listen to R&B music while I work out?
No, I listen to sad music to piss me off and make me work out
That's not sad. It's just like
really
R&B music.
I make up like fake scenarios.
Rap.
Yeah.
When I'm running, yeah, it is. when I run, I listen to rap and everything like that. When I'm lifting, I'm focused and
I listen to when I'm running.
If I need motivation to run, I just listen to the Bad Boy catalog.
Wow.
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
No, but he went to Costco. That's why he buys in bulk.
I don't think Costco even has 1,000 bottles.
That makes perfect sense.
No.
But that's the thing. Can you believe that is what
I believe it.
His lawyer stated when TMZ asked him about the inordinate amount of baby oil. He says, well, listen, Americans buy in bulk nowadays. There's Costco's next to every residence that he has. I'm sure he just bought a lot.
1,000 bottles of baby oil is crazy.
That's a lot of baby oil.
Baby oil lasts me for 2-3 years.
You said rich people
Even
what?
Jelly Roll don't need that much baby oil.
Rich people think differently than us.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I don't know.
You're not even home that much to be buying in bulk. That's just my opinion.
He might be home more than what we think.
Listen, we got two. And you want to talk about craziness right now for the three of y'all former borough president getting indicted. The first Brooklyn making history again. A former Brooklyn borough president.
You just wait for this one.
The first sitting mayor to ever get indicted in New York City.
I wasn't shocked.
And of course, it's for corruption charges. All about the money.
Niggas be scamming, bro.
No comment.
We did not.
Freak off.
Yeah.
I'm
He was
not.
definitely at the free goals too.
Fool. I wasn't in no
Eric
fucking
Adams.
free throws.
No, not you. Not you. Stop incriminating yourselves.
I'm
One of
just
y'all want to
saying,
be a
I
bitch.
wasn't-
The other one want to be at the
Is
free
there a
goals.
Just
weird-
call a spade a spade. Eric Adams was from Brooklyn. Niggas be scamming all day, every day. Niggas ain't surprised. I'm not surprised. Tell you surprised? Because I ain't surprised. I'm not surprised. Trey, you surprised? I'm not surprised.
No, I didn't. And when he got elected, it was one of those things. I don't know, bro. It's like one of those things where you want to root for everybody that's black, but he didn't seem very qualified for that position compared to like in general. But then again, we came from mayors who most of the mayors of New York have been involved in corruption. This just the second one that got caught.
When he got elected, I just thought, okay, niggas is not getting a RICO charge no more. That's what I thought. Like, New York has changed him.
And I get it. I get it because he was a cop for so many years and his father was a cop. I get it. But like it's hard for me when you're a black man, especially in New York, that is so pro-police in that regard. It's like this, to me, something seems off in that regard. Now, in terms of like people be scamming, I'm not gonna lie to you. At the level of the borough president, especially seeing what I've seen in the Bronx with some of our borough presidents, like I get it. People be scamming. I get that. But
everybody scams, Pete. But in New York, everybody scams, bro.
Becoming the mayor of New York, the profile and the spotlight is way too much for you to be pulling that same underhanded shit that you would pull at a lower level.
Rudy Giuliani. Exactly.
But Giuliani didn't Giuliani didn't fuck. No, Giuliani didn't fuck shit.
He wasn't scamming at first.
Yeah, Giuliani did fuck shit.
He took his whole family down.
Right.
Why are we surprised though? Just because you're a high position of power does not mean you are exempt.
No, I don't think you're exempt, but I would.
Our former president scammed. Look at Donald Trump. He's scamming to this day. And
but we sort of, but see, that's why I think people went so hard for Eric Adams.
No comment.
Because they were very tired. They were very tired of what they saw from the Bill de Blasio administration. And I feel like people wanted something that was a far departure from, mind you, the last three mayors of New York have been Giuliani. Four. Giuliani, Bloomberg,
scam artist,
and de Blasio.
Another scam artist.
And then prior to that, it was the honorable mayor David Dinkins.
Huh? You said de Blasio wasn't a scam artist?
I don't think de Blasio was a scam artist.
Oh my God, that guy was he was outside.
I mean, he scammed his wife into marrying him.
That's crazy.
Pete, she scammed him, but she didn't. I don't think she even liked men.
Pete, you gotta relax.
I don't think de Blasio was a scam artist. But de Blasio just someone else who got in and it was just like, like
a major goofy.
But he wasn't. He wasn't scamming or anything. He was just a little off the right there.
We haven't had a black mayor in this since David Dinkins.
It's a weird ass name.
Yeah, David Dinkins was the last black mayor of New York.
Well, nigga, that is a weird name. Calling him Dinkins is crazy.
But speaking about corrupt government officials, Matt, I know you were very happy to see the takedown of the gentleman who essentially admitted to blackballing Kyrie Irving from playing in the NBA for not taking the COVID vaccine.
Why am I excited about it? Kyrie Irving is now in Dallas. Dallas went to the finals. Could have been Brooklyn, but it wasn't Brooklyn. I'm not excited about that. I'm happy.
It was never going to be Brooklyn.
Well, no, excited about the fact that this man is this is getting exposed. That all this is getting put out there. This man essentially the reason why Kyrie Irving was placed in the situation that he was.
Pete, I would be happy if you, Dre, and Tavia was to just sit here and say, Matt, you were right. Y'all are never going to say that. So I'm not happy about it because I've been calling for it for the longest, saying that.
Saying that we were right. Wait, saying that you were right
Because
about what?
I've been saying for the longest that what's going on in Kyrie is bullshit. I've been saying it's been bullshit. It's a setup. Everything that's been going on with that whole situation was a setup. It was some bullshit. It wasn't even that important. It had nothing to do with him playing basketball, but they kept him off the floor. I've been saying that. It's because motherfuckers don't like him. It just is what it is. It do pretty much confirm what I've been saying. People are coming at him because they just don't like him. It's either they don't like him or they feel a way about him leaving LeBron. Let's just be realistic. It was what it was. I'm not surprised about it.
I think
my issue with Kyrie was never about the COVID vaccine. Like, listen, while I understood the public health emergency that we were in, and I had people close to me who were being affected by COVID in very disastrous ways and things like that, I know many other people were, and I understood that idea. Like, listen, did I want to put a vaccine in my body that we did not have full testing on, that we did not know exactly what was in a lot of these things? No, I did not. But at the end of the day, when I had to, in my own perspective, kind of balance life and death, not only for myself, but for others around me, you know, especially during that time when there were freezer trucks parked outside of funeral homes with body bags in it. That's how many people were dying. I had no issue with Kyrie making a personal choice to not want to take the vaccine, but he understood, like, hey, the city is mandating this, whether fair or not, right? Because there's a lot of shit that happens that's not necessarily fair in the rules of the places we live and work, right? I had no issue with that. My issue with Kyrie was the non-accountability about the anti-Semitic shit that went on. That was my issue with Kyrie. Personally, the COVID thing, I had no issue with Kyrie. You have a personal choice. The same way I believe in a woman's right to choose her decisions about her body, I believe that an individual has the right to choose what they want to do with their body, but at the same time, you suffer the consequences of the choices that you make.
This is also after he said the earth was flat. People had shit to say about that. It's also after he said that they don't need a coach and that Steve Nash robbed Kobe Bryant of an MVP. Like, this is all after that. So again, I'm just saying, people just did not like Kyrie Irving, and to this day, they still don't like Kyrie Irving. It don't phase me. I know what he's capable of on the floor. That's why I wanted him in the Brooklyn Nets uniform. That's why to this day I still say fuck you, Joe Tsai. To this day, fuck you, Joe Tsai.
I just honestly, I'm going to say this and be as real as possible. The vaccine issue with Kyrie to me was the least of my frustrations with Kyrie Irving. I believe that he was distracting. The less he speaks, the better he plays.
I can agree with that.
The same with Aaron Rodgers. The less I hear about your personal controversial views, the more I can tolerate you. I don't like the shut up and dribble type of mentality, but when you are taking a hard line on controversial issues where you can easily be proven wrong, you get what I'm saying? You are now making a choice to be ignorant, and that is the part that I struggle with. You get what I'm saying? The earth is not flat.
I'm not a scientist.
It is not flat. The earth is not flat.
I mean, a geographist, geographer. I don't know.
Anything and saying anything, and that's not even geography. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
Exactly. That is the point. You don't know, so you don't go in public and be like, yo, the earth is flat, my dude. You get what I'm saying? And there is never a right time, to me, to spread anti-Semitic comments, racist comments, sexist comments. I believe that, yes, I may banter about Aaron Rodgers and his parents, but that's personal. You get what I'm saying? But when you're getting into matters of hatred with with other protected classes, you are drawing a hard line because, as to me, especially as an underrepresented person of color, right? You are unfortunately in a minority that is already being discriminated against. So how dare you have privilege, a certain amount of privilege now because you're a millionaire. You get what I'm saying? And that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of injustices going on. Either you want to speak positivity, speak about the real issues that are out there, or shut up and dribble.
I just wish all the
Period.
comments that was said about him and just was tailored to his basketball play. That was my thing. So whenever we used to talk about it, I was like, look, I don't care about none of that shit. All I want to talk about is what he does on the court when he's able to play on the court. Which, because of this dickhead that Pete is speaking of, he was not able to play on the court because of the bullshit that he stirred up. He didn't clear it, so
But
it was what it was.
right, but you know what? That's a, that's an issue. Maybe not for you, but for me, I can't separate the artist from its craft. Like if I'm looking at somebody, I'm looking at them 360 because they're now a public figure by choice, right? So you don't have the privilege of just playing basketball. If you just wanted to play basketball without the media, go to Rucker.
Or don't comment on things. Like there's a lot of players in the NBA. You don't know what their stances are on certain things. You don't know what they believe, what they think, how they feel about certain things, right? You have the
And
right.
that's fine.
You have the right to Marshawn Lynch everything, right? I'm just here so I
Russell
don't get
Wilson
up,
too. Yeah,
right?
Russell Wilson too. There are so many athletes that you don't know anything about their political affiliation, their beliefs on pro-life, pro-choice. These are very inflammatory topics that people live every day, and it's hard for me. Like I can't listen to R. Kelly music, right? I'm getting to a point where I can't listen to Diddy music because I can't separate the psycho from the genius.
Right.
Uh,
And there's a plethora of people in sports that have no commented things, and I think that's the issue, right? Once you decide to comment, and I agree with you, Matt, right? I 100% agree with. I think Tay agrees with you, in the sense of like, if you're just playing basketball, you're just playing your sport, and all we have to do is talk about you and your abilities on your respective playing field. That's great. But the minute you put yourself in a situation where you've commented on something, where you've said something, where you've put yourself as a part of that conversation, and what you say becomes part of the zeitgeist of what's going on, right? then then unfortunately it becomes, well, now we get to comment on this, we get to comment on this, we get to comment on that. And you also know that what's going to make money, what's going to sell papers, what's going to sell programming, what's going to sell all of these different things. Hell, what's going to make our podcast that we do, you know, more watchable, right? All of a sudden, if we start talking about the inflammatory thing that somebody said, people are going to want to tune in because I want to hear what they got to say about this shit that somebody else said, right? Because anybody could talk sports, right? And it could be very slight. Dre, anything to add to this?
let's keep going. Keep going.
So let's move to the sad part of the WNBA playoffs before we move to the happier part of that discussion. As we saw, all chalk moving into the semifinals, the top four seeds winning their first round matchup going into the WNBA playoff semifinals. The big story, unfortunately, coming out of the first round matchup between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever, in between game 1 and game 2, centering around inflammatory comments made both online and in person in the arena by Indiana Fever fans and just fans in general or trolls in general online to Connecticut Sun players, especially one, and I do apologize for probably butchering her first name, Dejanay Carrington.
Dejanay.
Who say that again, Dre?
Dejanay.
Carrington, who unfortunately was involved in the situation with Caitlin Clark, where Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye. We've all seen it happen in a game. Things go wrong. But Carrington getting a bunch of negative and inflammatory and racist comments on both social media and apparently being heard yelled by Indiana Fever fans as the Connecticut Sun players were going back into the tunnel. And Connecticut Sun veteran and WNBA veteran Alyssa Thomas saying, I think in my 11-year career until tonight, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. But according to Carrington's girlfriend, who also happens to be a player for the Indiana Fever, Nalissa Smith, saying, quote, my girlfriend has been getting death threats, followed, and called all type of shit. She posted that on X. Obviously, I mean, no space for racism in any capacity. But is this...
That's me. That's my alarm to wake me up to go to work. My bad, bro.
I love it. Is this Indiana Fever's fans just getting too No, you know what? Is this the Indiana Fever fan base, or is this the trolls of social media creating this firestorm, or is it both?
It's both, because most of these fans are the trolls that are online. These are the same people that's hiding behind avatars and not their real faces. And some of them are out there in public being racist. My problem has been from the beginning of the season with the whole Caitlin Clark thing. It's either you're overprotective of her and then you're going above and beyond, or it's the complete opposite and you guys are giving Caitlin Clark shit. Not us, but in general. Now with the whole Indiana Fever and Sun situation, it's been going on for most of the season for what I looked up. And it goes back to what we were saying before. Unfortunately, the whole great white hope aspect that Caitlin Clark has been put into has now turned to an uglier side. And that's not fair to the game. That's not fair to any of the women playing. It's also not fair to Caitlin Clark, who's now also going to be like people are now going to be like, huh, these are your people. These are your fans. How do you really feel about that? Even though Caitlin Clark is definitely dispatched and like, no, she had nothing to do with any of the BS for most of the season. But it's just, it's terrible. It's terrible that this is going on in general. But in the sport right now, in women's basketball, which has seen a positive increase in viewership, money, everything, it still shows that fans are just, some of these fans are just idiots sometimes.
I don't think that they're fans. I just think that I don't know. I just think white people. No, I shouldn't say that, but not even just white people. I just think people protect the great white hope like we should protect black women. But that's just my opinion. Like I think it's a playoff game, so it's playoff atmosphere. So it's gonna make it a lot more than what it is, and fans will be fans. But again, I don't see these people as fans. I see them as protecting the Great White Hope, and I hate to call her that. But that's just pretty much how she's being billed. It's really my honest opinion on the Caitlin Clark aspect. But is it an Indiana thing? Indiana is very they're very basketball enthusiasts, like enthusiastically. So it's like you have really great fans there. Just like Boston is like that. Just like Utah is like that. But these are also racial towns that have extreme racists. So there's that atmosphere of it too. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm gonna like end it to where I began, and I just really wish that people protect black women like how they're protecting Caitlin Clark, because this is crazy. Because ain't nobody was thinking Indiana was beating Connecticut. Sorry, nobody thought that. Granted, it was a hard foul. It wasn't even really a hard foul. It was a 3-point. It was a 3-point shot that she tried to draw, and she didn't get the call, and it just got chippy. That's all that it was. And does it warranted like the hate that Dejanay is getting? No, it doesn't. But again, playoff atmosphere, and we're protecting the Great White Hope. That's just how I view it. I won't give it too much steam or too much energy if you want my basketball opinion to it. I'm not giving it that much energy because it was just a basketball play. A call that didn't get called.
Tay, I wanna bring the question to you, but I want to kind of like tweak the question a little bit because you have the unique ability of not only being a woman but also being a black woman in this country to speak on this. In a league that is primarily, well, it's 100% woman, but is very heavily both black and gay. What does the WNBA have to do, and what lengths should they go to? Because it's you're not just getting the racism, you're getting the homophobia as well. What can the WNBA do to further protect its players and make them feel a lot more comfortable in these arenas that they're playing?
There's almost really nothing they can do more than what they've been doing. I mean, they wrote the statements. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's increased security at arenas. You get what I mean? And you really can't control online trolls getting online and saying disgusting things. They're going to say it anyway, right? So it's like, what can you do? What can you do? They just recently got private travel, right?
Yes, just this season, I believe.
This year. So it's a start. You know, as the public profile of the WNBA continues to grow, thanks to Caitlin Clark.
And Angel Reese.
Thanks to Caitlin Clark. Let's be real here because of what you said.
I mean, yeah.
Because of what you said.
I think just giving her the credit is a lot.
I believe that it's people go, have you gone to a WNBA game?
Have I gone to one? Not this season, but I have.
The crowds were full.
Mm-hmm.
And 70% of the jerseys you saw were Caitlin Clark jerseys. You can't deny impact. I personally prefer Angel Reese. I feel she's more personable. You get what I'm saying? But I think she's more personable. I think you'll see her at the Met Galas. You'll see her doing podcasts. You'll see her doing more media and stuff like that. But to deny the Caitlin Clark impact is based on personal opinion. It's just not accurate. But getting back to my point, all they could do is continue to write the statements that they've been writing, continue to increase security at these arenas and these venues. There's only but so much you can really do. I mean, it's primarily black and queer. And it's been that way for a long time. And we, especially during an election year, we are under an intense online fever pitch right now. Look at one of the senators, what they said about Haitians just yesterday. Look at the atmosphere that we're in right now. You get what I'm saying, which is spurned by political aspirations. Period. Every time there's an election year, online gets inflamed. I've seen the N-word more this year than I have since 2020 online.
And not from us.
Light skinned people.
And it's
right.
interesting.
And to be honest with you, and people believe that Haitians are eating dogs and cats. So that kind of gives you the idea of the society in which we live in right now.
Yeah, and it's even worse when you double that with the fact that it's compounded, I should say, by the fact that we are living in a day and age where, to use a line that Matt has used many times on this show, we live in a world where the good story is more valuable than the facts, which is sad, because we should be when we talk about this generation of the world, we have we have the ability to research, double check, reference, all this stuff better than any generation ever in the world. And yet we are probably the generation of the world that does that the least and goes the least based off the fact. If the story is sensational enough, if the story has enough clicks on social media, if the story has enough to travel, it's true no matter what. And the timing is so instantaneous now. If a story breaks on social media or something breaks on social media and it's hot for more than 5 minutes, it's truth, regardless of what happens, right? All of a sudden it becomes accepted as truth. Just real quickly before we pivot away, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, respectively, number 1 and number 2 in jersey sales this year in the WNBA. In fact, I believe number 4 is New Jersey Liberty Sabrina Ionescu.
New Jersey, that's crazy. Damn, you ain't gonna show love to New York? That's I wouldn't call it New Jersey.
Sorry. The New York Sabrina Ionescu is number 4. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese number 1 and number 2. They also led what the WNBA saw as a 1,000% increase in player-based merchandise. But to Tay's point, yes, Caitlin Clark. Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark brought a fan base into this league that was very middle America, very white, and very different from the fan base the WNBA had. And it's something the WNBA needs. They need the eyes on it, but they also don't need the negativity that can come with some of those eyes from some of those fans in those spaces. But moving on to more positive news about the WNBA playoffs, as we started with, it's all chalk. Top 4 teams made it on to the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs in 2024, and it will be the Minnesota Lynx versus the number 3 seed Connecticut Sun. And on the other side of the bracket, a WNBA Finals rematch from last year, this time in the semis. The number 1 seed, the quiet, in my opinion, number 1 seed, New York Liberty, taking on the Las Vegas Aces, trying to become the first ever team, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Sparks did it, but the first ever team to three-peat. I think they're the first one to three-peat. Did the Sparks do it?
I think the Comets did it.
Houston did it?
Houston Comets won 4 in a row, I think.
Oh, there we go. You're right. You're right about that. So Vegas trying to three-peat. Connecticut and New York looking for their first ever championships. Starting with the New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces. Is this the year that the Liberty break through and get past the Aces?
They better. More money on them. Vegas ain't. I ain't gonna. They're closing. They close the season out hot, but I still see like some like flaws in their system, and I feel like New York has been consistent the whole season. So I'm going with New York on this one. I hope they dethrone them because let's be honest, we need something to cheer about in New York. The only thing that's going on in New York right now is Eric Adams and Diddy. We need something to cheer about right now. We need something.
I mean, the Yankees and the Mets, both. Well, the Yankees are
No,
the playoff spot, and the Mets possibly can. So
I'm not in dog days of baseball, but I can almost guarantee that the Yankees aren't favorites to win a World Series.
We're not.
No, just like the Indiana, just like the Liberty aren't favorites to win the title this year. And as good as they have been playing, it's hard to go against the MVP. It's hard to go against that team of the Aces when if Becky Hammond could get them all together right.
They're not consistent though.
They've consistently won the last 2
I
years.
give you that. I'm just saying, like, you can tell that they're above all odds, like better than a lot of these teams. But if there's a team that's built to beat them and built to really compete with them, it's the Liberty.
The Liberty remind me of the Utah Jazz. You remember the Utah Jazz?
Talking about with Darren Williams?
No, not them.
You said Utah Jazz.
I'm talking about the most recent Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles. Them.
I'm talking about that last initiation. That last.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, them. They were a number 1 seed a few times in the West. That team was built to beat everybody. They get to the playoffs, and this is where the differences lie between the teams. The Liberty are still the Liberty in the playoffs, but here's how they are the same. When it gets time to crunch time, down to winning time, the Liberty has to find a way to win, and that hasn't been what they've been able to do the past couple of years, coming from the basement up to the ceiling, and they just get stopped right at that top floor before they could break through the ceiling. So Sabrina Ionescu had a real quiet, great year. Stewie had a real quiet, great year. That team, as Peter said, that's the quietest I've seen a first seed in most sports, outside of, again, the Utah Jazz. So, we have to see where they go with it. Hopefully they can do it. But how about that season from Asia Wilson, bro?
I'm not shocked. Again, that's if you're talking about consistency, it's her. She's been the most consistently dominant, just dominant. There's no way of stopping her. That's just what it is. She is who they say she is. She's the best. She might be the best player, the best woman player in the world right now on the basketball standpoint. Like, yeah, you got like all these other players that are coming up, but she's the standard. So that's pretty much why Vegas are the heavily favorites. But again, like I said, I feel like the Liberty has the team and the roster that's built to compete with the Aces. So
Pete,
yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, Pete?
Well, when you're looking at the stats this year, I mean, they're literally neck and neck. Las Vegas was number 1 in points as a team at 86.4 a game. The Liberty right behind them at 85.6. Now, where the Liberty do have a little bit of an advantage, they did lead. They were tied for first in the league for defensive rebounds at 36.6 a game. The Aces a little bit better. I mean, just marginally better in field goal percentage, 44.9, 44.5. Little bit better at the free throw line, and then obviously, you have the Liberty, fourth in the league in steals, fourth in the league in blocks. The Aces second in the league in blocks. So it's a little tough when you really think about it because they're literally are neck and neck. And when you look in the postseason right now, so far just in the first round, the Aces are number one in rebounding in the first round. They had 39 rebounds, over 2 games, 78 defensive rebounds. The Liberty down to 34. The Aces are kind of leading in a lot of areas. It's really going to depend on can Sabrina Ionescu really step up in the way that she needs to, and can Breanna Stewart step up? Because I think that's the big thing. Sabrina's had a lot on her shoulders. I mean, she scored 36 in their game 2 victory over the Dream. But where's Breanna Stewart, right? Where's Jonquel Jones? Where are the other players on that team? Because this is, for all intents and purposes, a super team. It really is. Okay, you got Sabrina Ionescu, you got Jonquel Jones, you got, Breanna Stewart, you got Courtney Vandersloot. Where's the help is going to be the question for the Liberty, in my opinion.
And it's crazy. There are 3 super teams in the league. It's Seattle, Las Vegas, and New York. And it's going to be the battle again of the super teams. One super team took another out, and now we have to. That's what's going to happen this time around. Another super team's going to take another one out. So
I just think a lot of it's going to come down to me with the Aces. A lot of this is on the shoulders of Aja Wilson and Kelsey Plum. So that's going to be the question there, right? When you really think about it, can Chelsea Gray really lead this team? Right now leading the team in assists in the postseason. But when you think about the drop off, right? Aja Wilson led this team with 26.9 points and 11.9 rebounds a game in the regular season. The drop off is significant. Kelsey Plum then comes in at 17.8 points a game. There isn't another Aces player that is higher than 4.7 rebounds a game, and that's Kia Stokes. So the drop-off is significant when you're looking at the Aces in terms of like their stars. But when you look at the Liberty, Breanna Stewart at 20.5 points a game. Ionescu at 18.2 points a game. Jonquel Jones at 14.2 points a game. Vandersloot doing not too much this year, 6.4 points per game, but leading second on the team with 4.8 assists per game, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then rebounding, you've got a couple of people. You got Jonquel Jones and Breanna Stewart both at about 9 rebounds a game. So where's the weight going to go? If it's all on Aja Wilson and Plum and the rest of that team in Las Vegas don't step up, the Liberty are going to handle them. But if the Aces can find a defensive way to shut down those side pieces and leave it all on Sabrina's shoulders, I don't know if she's going to have enough to beat the tenacity of that team.
And on the other side of the bracket with the Lynx and the Suns, I hope people are not sleeping on either team. Yes, this is the first Lynx conference finals appearance, a semifinals appearance since 2020, right? The Connecticut Sun have been, consistently good, and they have the most improved player. But the Connecticut Sun is a hell of a defensive team. They remind me of like one of those hard, like they remind me of the Comets back then, where they were really tough defensively, but they had everything else around it. So we have to see, because we're looking at the two juggernauts on one side, and you have the underdogs on the other side of the court, other side of the bracket, that can easily beat one of those teams. So
because
My
the Pacers
issue with
is
the Lynx, only
dogging.
team to score over 100 points in the playoffs. 102 points in that first game against Phoenix, 101 points in that second game. Collier is absolutely a monster with the ball right now.
42 points, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that's going to be the thing. I think the Lynx have the ability to run any one of these teams out the building.
most definitely.
Before we move off the WNBA, there's a possible goodbye that we'll be saying to one of the greatest players ever, if not possibly in the discussion for the greatest player ever in the history of the WNBA, at least in this generation of the WNBA. Diana Taurasi may have played the final game of her 20-year career in the WNBA, in their playoff, in the Phoenix Mercury's playoff loss to Minnesota. Obviously, she has not yet made a decision on whether she's going to walk away and retire. That is the kind of story that's being sold right now, that this probably is Taurasi's last game. Personally, the fact that she's still been a valuable piece on a playoff contending team in her 20th year, that right there is the legacy. Like, come on.
42 years old. Dog. That is the WNBA's version of Kobe Bryant.
I still remember when she was playing for Connecticut. I remember her playoffs in the NCAA women's finals when she was on Connecticut. Before we move to the NFL, we do know that there is one actual end of an era tonight. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but tonight, the final baseball game has been played at the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. The Oakland A's, obviously not in playoff contention, will not be playing any playoff games in Oakland. The Oakland A's will no longer be in the Oakland Coliseum. More than likely, I believe they're moving to Vegas moving forward. Listen, ever since I was a baseball fan as a kid, the Oakland A's have been just a testament to Major League Baseball. And it's going to be very, very weird to not see a team in Oakland. But I'll leave you with this funny note. I want to hear what you guys think about this. They interviewed Ricky Henderson at the game. And Ricky's from Oakland. They asked Ricky, how do you feel about this? Whatever. And he said, it's messed up because, they're never going to come back. And Major League Baseball is not going to give a team back to Oakland or anything like that. They're gone. That's it. We've lost this team. And the reporter asked Ricky Henderson if he feels sad about the fact that the Oakland A's are leaving Oakland. And Ricky's response was, no, I can't feel sad. I'm rich.
Sounds about right. But has Vegas bought up everything like Los Angeles and Oakland related? Yes, I feel like, the Oakland lost the Raiders and they lost the Athletics. What's going on? But the Oakland Coliseum is in the same lore as the old Yankee Stadium. And, it sucks to see it go, but, at the end of the day, sometimes change is needed. And for Oakland to get to where they want to go, time to switch it up.
Yeah, but Oakland's fans have always been great. I mean, I grew up obviously watching baseball in the mid and late 90s, especially during the Yankees run in the late 90s, and you would see those playoff games in Oakland. I mean, back when Oakland had Barry Zito and Mark Mulder and all these great pitchers on that team. And, and Jason Giambi was on that team before he came to the Yankees. When Oakland has had great baseball, the Oakland fans are there. They are invested. They are true fans of the game. And we all remember, I mean, we may not have been alive, all of us, but, all of us have heard of the fact that a playoff game was played in Oakland while a earthquake happened, in Oakland Coliseum. I feel bad for the fans of Oakland because they're getting screwed. They lost their football team. They're losing their baseball team, and they lost their basketball team. Even though the Warriors are only right over the Bay Bridge right over the Bay Bridge, but they were in Oakland. They've lost their basketball team, their baseball team, their football team. And when you think about Oakland, it's a predominantly black area. And that's what stands out to me as well. You've taken a football team, a baseball team, and a basketball team from one of the most historically predominantly black areas of sports. And you're not giving anything back.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
But moving to the moneymaker for our podcast, the reason why everybody tunes in. Week 3 of the NFL, week 4 of the NFL season is upon us. Week 3 just ended. Currently, as we record this, the Giants and the Cowboys playing at MetLife Stadium on Thursday Night Football. And to at least 2 of you, Giants are up 3-0. And if the Giants beat the Cowboys tonight, me and Matt will never hear the end of it. We will never hear the end of it on this show.
Never.
But Tay, I think Tay's a little frozen. I'm going to go. Matt, I got a question for you, Matt. Well, Matt yelling at somebody. He's probably
yelling at kids. I'll answer the question.
He's yelling at Joe Sky.
What's the question? I got you.
Well, Tay, if you, I don't know if you're frozen or not, but Tay, if you can hear this, Dre, how crazy does this sound?
All right, go ahead.
It's week 4, and Sam Darnold is your front runner for MVP.
Queen.
You're on mute. Sorry.
Me? I'm on mute.
No, Tay is on mute.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, I'll jump in until Tay gets back. What the fuck? Again. It's like this season has decided, you know what? We're gonna go in bizarro land, and whatever you thought was gonna happen, here we go. We're gonna flip it and reverse it one time, and it's not making any sense. Also, Josh Allen, for whatever reason, is still up there in MVP front running as well. I'm just confused, but it's like,
why? They're 3-0. I mean, so are the Chiefs, but Mahomes is throwing 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Right, and then he shot more interceptions, but I think 2 of them were overturned. Like
right now, by the way, your undefeated teams in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks are 3-0, the Bills are 3-0, the Chiefs are 3-0, and the Steelers are 3-0, and the Vikings are 3-0. Again, with Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback.
Why you don't like Sam Darnold? He wasn't bad on the Jets.
Listen, I feel bad for Sam Darnold because of the shit that he had to go through with Adam Gase.
Adam Gase. Jesus.
And according to Bill Belichick, he says everybody in the NFL has always loved Sam Darnold, except for Jets fans. But Sam Darnold right now is one of the front runners for MVP. Let me just give you.
It's only week fucking 4.
That's how the NFL is moving right now. Everybody.
Let me give you these stats real quick. 657 yards, 8 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions in 3 games, The Vikings have won 28-6 over the Giants, 34-7 over Houston, and 23-17 over the San Francisco Giants. And last week against
49ers.
It's all right. I'm getting all messed up over here. Look at these Sam Darnold stats. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he threw for 268 yards against San Francisco. And mind you, this was not Minnesota's projected starter. They had drafted J.J. McCarthy to be their starter. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy going down with an injury. Hey, Sam Darnold, MVP. Do we see it? Sam Darnold?
Pete, shut up. No. No. No.
What do you think of the 3-0 teams?
It's gonna be Aaron Rodgers.
It can't be Aaron Rodgers. The Jets are 2-1.
Oh no, it will be. They're gonna find a way. Aaron Rodgers is about to get it for sure. He gonna get MVP and comeback player of the year. He's gonna get both. I guarantee it.
For sure.
Interesting question here.
What was the question you had for me?
I'm not doing this with y'all.
Sam Darnold MVP.
I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm sick of this Aaron Rodgers slander.
Unanimous choice.
Y'all are killing me. I'm not doing this with y'all. It's a new year, new season, and y'all the Aaron Rodgers stuff got to stop at some point.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers is definitely the MVP right now. I think he's gonna bring the Jets to the promised land in the second
first round of the playoffs.
The first round of the playoffs. Yeah, sorry.
Promised land.
I'm done. I'm not doing this with him. I'm not doing this with either one of y'all. Y'all not gonna do this. I'm not I didn't say nothing about the Giants. I don't do this to y'all.
No, you didn't have to.
I'm just saying.
We do it to ourselves.
It's just like, why? Why are we why?
They literally went to the first Giants game and left early.
That's what you're supposed to do. Like, in all honesty, is this really a highlight game that we're watching right now? Just throwing that out there. Like, for real.
Daniel Jones is 3 for 3 for 53 yards.
The Giants beating the Cowboys actually would benefit us to knocking somebody else out the playoffs.
Giving Daniel Jones stats in the first quarter, in the first drive, is fucked up work, Pete. I can't believe.
Do you remember what happened to Aaron Rodgers in the first quarter of the first drive of last year's game? Okay. Okay, Kunta Kinte.
So here's a question I have for the three of you. What's so far 3 weeks into the season? Which one of these 3 scenarios is the most surprising? The Minnesota Vikings being 3-0. The San Francisco 49ers being 1-2.
That is. Not really, honestly.
Or the Cincinnati Bengals being 0-3.
The Bengals.
Why? I guess yeah. Out of the 3 scenarios, yeah. Because if you really want to be realistically, Christian McCaffrey's hurt. That's their go-to guy. So that, like, them starting off slow is not far off. Minnesota is the same team virtually. They just don't have Kirk Cousins.
They have a younger quarterback.
Exactly. So not shocking.
But San Francisco still has Deebo Samuel. They still have Brandon Ayuk, who they just signed to a huge contract. And your guy, not your guy, but the golden boy right now of the NFL coming into this new contract, supposed to be Brock Purdy. I thought he was supposed to be the big piece, right? This was the same team.
I think he's doing pretty good.
But again, San Francisco 1-2. But Matt said it was all on the fact that Christian McCaffrey was injured.
It's their go-to guy. That's their guy that gets them the yardage that they're looking for to keep them in the game and all sort of thing. Their defense is carrying them, really, want my honest opinion. Their defense has been carrying them, like keeping them in a lot of these games. Not the last game, because they got dog walk, but keeping them relevant against the Jets because
Did they get dog walks or did they lose by a field goal?
32-19.
dog walk.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the 49ers. I thought they lost to the Rams by a field goal.
No, that was that. Yeah, that was week. So week 1, they beat the Jets, and then they lost to Minnesota, and they lost to LA.
So I mean, like I again wasn't expecting the Rams to play like how they played. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just, like I said, it's all subjective. But yeah, you can say Deebo Samuel, but we all know who's the guy for the 49ers. It's Christian McCaffrey. We know that. Like we can say Deebo, he's like the second guy, but we know
the second guy. He's still the second guy.
Christian McCaffrey is the guy. So, like a lot of their success is gonna live and die on him. Like Deebo worked for what's his name? What is his name? Steven, they call him what's Playboy? What the fuck does he call him? Who's the quarterback that they had before him? Like
Jimmy
Garoppolo. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, Playboy Jimmy or some shit like that. Like like that was Deebo's guy. That's who helped him. That's who made him look good. Not saying that Brock Purdy can't make Deebo Samuel look good, but we know their success dies off of Christian McCaffrey, and he's hurt. It's an Achilles. It's an Achilles thing. Like it's an Achilles heel. What you want? And then he's supposed to be out for week 6 or something, like week 6 or week 8.
Yeah, I believe so. It doesn't get any easier. I mean, they kind of have somewhat of an easy game, even though I will say, the coaching in New England has been incredible. But they play New England this week, then they play Arizona, and then they go and play the current 3-0 Seattle Seahawks in week 6. Then they're going to need McCaffrey after that because they play Kansas City, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Seattle again. So that 4-week stretch is going to be tough. And then they go into week 12 against Green Bay, which Jordan Love might be back by then. But Tay, you said that the 0-3 Bengals is the most surprising.
Right. People thought with the return of Joe Burrow that it was going to be basically a better team.
Come on.
You get what I'm saying? He came back looking like Cody Rhodes. You get what I'm saying? He did nothing.
You sure? Okay.
Period.
Bengals lost in week 1, 16-10 to New England Patriots in a game that most people in survivor pools all around the country picked Cincinnati to win easily. Then lost in what was another last-minute controversial finish to Kansas City, 26-25, and then lost to Washington, 38-33. So when you really think about it, 2 pretty winnable games in the first 3 weeks, Tay.
True. Very winnable games, but they didn't win.
Yeah, they have Carolina, Baltimore, the Giants, and Cleveland coming up the next 4 weeks. So maybe a chance to turn it around for
3-1.
Coming up, so I want to bring up this question.
Hold on, real quick. Is it more like you're disappointed because I think you were like a Joe Burrow fan, weren't you?
I am still a Joe Burrow fan.
Yeah,
I'm not disappointed.
Okay. It's still kind of early. Wow. No, Cowboys are horrible, bro.
Oh my God! Are the Giants beating the Cowboys in quarter 1? Is it 3-0?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You see how I know? And then that's all the Giants are good for. A motherfucking field goal. And then next thing I know, I'm going to blink and get off this podcast, and they're down 17-3.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win this game.
All right, so let's wrap this up quick so I can watch it. Thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah, I got to get something ready.
Two big golden boy quarterbacks from last year's NFL season. Different scenarios for each of them, but 2 big golden boy quarterbacks right now embroiled in a lot of questions this year. Obviously, Tua Tagovailoa out again with another concussion. Questioning the incredible performance he had last year, but people questioning whether he should retire or not. And then also on the other end of the spectrum, Another end of
Who
the spectrum.
scored?
Cowboys.
A touchdown?
No, the flag. Flag on play.
And then at the other end of the spectrum, but also in Florida, by the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Sunshine Trevor Lawrence, who just got that big contract this year, really
Sunshine.
underperforming to the point where Doug Peterson has talked about probably replacing Sunshine at the quarterback. I need to bring in Red.
No comment.
I said that to myself. I said, yo, he looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
We said that on the show.
I was saying that. I was like, yo, he really looks like that. The hair is going to get him mad.
What channel is Thursday Night Football again?
It's
Amazon Prime.
Oh, God damn it.
You know who you sound like just now? We ain't going to speak on that.
But, Tay, you when I mentioned Tua, you had a pretty visceral reaction to that. Do you think it's time for Tua to hang it up?
Yeah, it's too much.
2 concussions ago.
A part of me feels like people are purposely concussing this guy. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's targeted.
He concussed himself. He concussed himself last time and into DeMar Hamlin.
He ran into DeMar Hamlin's shoulder.
Into his chest.
No. DeMar Hamlin got some damn nerves.
No, so they kept it. All right, yeah. Cowboys up 7-3.
You see? And by the time we get off the show, it's going to be 17-3.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think's the issue with Trevor Lawrence?
I'm not going to hold you. I don't know. Too much hair product.
I'm done with you.
Why?
I'm done with you.
Why does his hair look like that under a helmet?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, like, no homo. I mean, pause, of course. No brother.
Enough with the...
What?
I'm about to crash out.
Last question.
That poor thing really like fucks my whole head up. We know that you're okay, Kuta Kente. We know.
Last thing I want to bring up with the NFL real quick. Tay, it looks like Russell Wilson.
Why are you always asking me questions first?
Sorry. No, but this is your guy right here. This is your guy, Tay.
100% your guy.
Russell Wilson looks like he may never see the field again. Justin Fields looks like he's been tabbed as the starter in Pittsburgh, and Russell Wilson.
He's earned it.
Told you.
He's earned it. Russell Wilson is injured. So we're acting as if he's not playing because he's not playing. He's not playing because he's injured.
Oh,
Did you give him the job back when he comes back?
No. No. Unless Justin Fields get hurt. No.
You know what? I could see Tomlin putting him in.
Yeah, for sentimental values.
Yeah, I can see Tomlin doing that.
Before we go,
I don't know.
Do it for future, Russ. Do it for future.
I don't know. If Tomlin want to keep that winning record streak up,
oh man,
he got to evaluate what Justin Fields is towards the middle of the season and what he wants from Russell Wilson.
Yo, my man is on the sidelines with a headset and full jersey and pads uniform.
I know we don't have long. I'm ready to kind of jump off. I've had a long day.
Yeah, we're about to sign off right now. Just go ahead, Tay.
No, go ahead.
He's go ahead, Queen.
Go ahead.
Just trying to sign off so you can get to what you need to do. I'm sorry, Tay.
Okay.
So really quickly after week 3, Tay once again winning at our newest Pick 5 game, and as we go,
because y'all pissed her off. Pissed her off. Should have left her alone. Should have left her alone.
I didn't even
right now winning with 10 points through 3 weeks. Matt sitting in last place with 3 points. Unfortunately, Dre, you're not in last. So happy for you.
No, absolutely not.
But as we go with this episode of the Yerrr Sports Show, we want to say a very, very proud goodbye to Derrick Rose, who has announced his retirement from the NBA today. Derrick Rose has played 15 seasons in the NBA, most notably with the Chicago Bulls and New York Knicks. and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great land. Wish that man would have gotten the ring. Wish
he would have been able to play a full season. I mean, the Bulls were up by 12 with a minute 12 left in that game that changed his life. So, okay.
Tom Thibodeau's fault.
Not Tom Thibodeau.
It was his fault. Bye, guys.
So, as we wrap this up for the voice of a generation, Pete Rosato, for the Queen, Quite, for BK Matt, it is your boy, the wise brother, Dre, a.k.a. the Soul R&B, signing off. Peace.